Sustainable Japan. I'm JJWalsh here in Hiroshima. And today I'm talking with Nao Fukuoka, who is also in Hiroshima. She's in a beautiful rural area of Hiroshima called Aki-Takata. Thank you so much for joining, Nao-san.
Thank you for having me today.
It's wonderful to have you. I think originally I met you a few years ago when
Mm-hmm.
you were my guide of the A-bombed warehouses in Dishio,
Yes. Yes.
right?
Yes.
So that's kind of connected to your background and the reason why you said you wanted to move to the countryside.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us a little bit about your experience with Peace Boat
Mm-hmm.
and in Tahiti?
Mm-hmm. Okay. When I was a university student, it was about 7 years ago, and I was like interested in the how to pass on the memory of Hiroshima, like especially Hibakusha's memory, what happened in Hiroshima, and I decided to uh, participate in the peace boat activity. The peace boat is carrying hibakshas on the big cruise ship and having opportunity to interact with people all over the world. So I visited 20 more countries with hibakshas, Hiroshima, Nagasaki hibakshas, and visited 20 more countries and shared Hiroshima and Nagasaki experiences with people over there. And it was very nice to spend all the time with hibakshas. Every hibakshas has their personality is very like lovely, and I love them. And I understood that the we we say the hibakusha's memory, the just words hibakusha's memory in Hiroshima, but I understood that each hibakusha has their own memory, and I can pass down the memory to become friends with them and to become the partner of them, and and that then I can speak out as a Hiroshima people. So that was very very special experience for me. And after that, and I on the cruise ship, the program was held in Tahiti Island also, the French Polynesia, and there were some hibakshas. Oh, you found this photo. Thank you. Yeah, I met some survivors, no, not survivors, victims of the nuclear testing the French army did in the French Polynesia. The most of people were didn't know about what the nuclear weapon is, what the radioactive is, but they worked for the nuclear test site and they exposed to the radiation and they had many problems. So I got to know that, oh, not only Hiroshima and Nagasaki, but all over the world, we have hibakusha, we have problem of the radioactive. So I revisited Tahiti Island after the cruise ship to write my final report to graduate from the university. And that was my like very important experience to staying in Tahiti. Many people assisted me, many people supported me, like giving me food, giving me accommodations, giving me informations. Everyone was very nice, and everyone is living with nature. And that was my like basic experience to move to this rural area. I wanted to live with nature. I wanted to live not in the city side but the rural area to have a connection with nature. Yeah, that's why I moved to rural area from city
That's
area.
wonderful. Yeah, that's a wonderful story. And I love to hear that your inspiration came while you were on Peace Boat. I've interviewed a few people who are social entrepreneurs in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
They are doing social good with their business.
Mm-hmm.
And their origin of inspiration is also Peace Boat. So, for
Mm.
example, Robin Lewis, who does My Mizu,
Ah,
right?
yes.
He was on Peace Boat. Of course, Hakidorisha, right?
Mm-hmm.
In central Hiroshima. She was very connected. Mayu Seto,
Mm-hmm.
who has joined, right? So it's so wonderful to hear of your experience, and that not only helped you connect with the idea of peace and talking about the importance of peace and stopping nuclear weapons, but also about the connection to nature and how
Mm-hmm.
you wanted to live a more sustainable life in the
Mm.
countryside, right?
Yes. That the experience made me to think about what is the value to me, what is the important thing to me, and I noticed that the connection with nature is very uh basic need for me. Like to having food from nature, to having like relaxing time with nature, to having all things, we got all things from nature, so we have to be thankful. And but the when I living in a city, I didn't have such experience, so I didn't know the we our life is connected to nature, so that was good. Mm.
Yeah. I love this photo, which is maybe from the local newspaper or magazine, and you
Yes,
look so happy farming and out there in the countryside, right? You're connecting
yes,
with nature.
yes. Then I got more healthy now, so the lifestyle has changed. And
And let's talk about your house and finding that house and
Mhm.
then remodeling the house. So this is your house that you bought and you're farming near it, are you?
Yes, yes, all of these houses are mine.
Wow. And you said this is the view looking out from your house.
Yes, yes. In this morning, it was snowy, so just black and white. It was
Beautiful.
so
Yeah.
beautiful.
And so this picture is maybe from springtime
Yes,
because you
on
can see the
April.
cherry blossoms, right?
Yes, yes.
And then your house is quite an old traditional house. How was it to do the remodel? Was it very
Mm.
difficult? What kinds of things did you focus on, like insulation or windows or heating?
Yeah, the heating is very difficult. It's not warm still now, but mm, um, the first of all, we decided to remodel the kitchen. The kitchen was very messy. We entered the very beginning, so we renewed the kitchen at the very beginning. And then we made a bedroom next to the living room. So that way, because the older house is very cold and very hot, so there we set the air conditioning at the living room and next to the bedroom, and we can send the comfortable air to the bedroom after at night. So there was the first time, and I we in this holiday time, the last of December and beginning of the January, we cleaning up the other buildings, Nayars and Hanales. Yeah.
Wow. I think I saw on your Instagram maybe
Hmm.
for your farming page about using maki stove, a wood stove.
Hmm.
Has that been very useful? A lot of the rural houses seem to have the wood burning stove.
Hmm.
That
We don't
seems like
we
you don't have?
actually, yeah, we don't have the maki store, but we hope to have it because it's very warm. And I'm like to to make warm the room, we are using like gases and electronics from now, but we want to shift the energy to the more sustainable way. So we have like many mountains, many woods behind my house, so we I want to use that the natural energy to make my house comfortable.
Yeah, it always seems like a good idea. I'm so jealous when I visit the country houses
Mm-hmm.
that have the fireplace, and I'm cold in my house in the city,
Mm.
and it's so romantic and lovely to
Yes.
and using local wood so it's more sustainable. And
Yes.
yeah, it's a great idea.
Hmm.
You also making a guest house, right? So
Yes.
part of your focus in this area is to kind of create appeal for tourism, right?
Yes, yes. Everyone in living in this area is called Nagata. Every oji-chan, oba-chan, old people says, "Oh, there are nothing here. There are nothing here. Why are you coming here?" And like, oh no, just it's just beautiful and it's just nice area, as I said, but everyone don't understand. But if the people come to my house and stay for several nights and spend time with the local people can find that, oh, our area is very like attractive to people or something like that. So I started to set up this accommodation, and also I want to have people who want to start the farming at rural area. Like us, the people who move to rural area and start farming is increasing, I know, and but that was very big challenge. So I want to like welcome people who want to do that kind of challenge or who want to move to a rural area. So my I hope staying my house will be the first experience for people, such people.
I think that's a great way, right? To have a comfortable place for people to stay in a beautiful old house. You've
Mm.
remodeled it beautifully. I love how you kept the engawa, the outside inside hallway. It's
Mm-hmm.
so beautiful. And we did a tour, kind of training or practicing or consulting about the tour. And the people who stayed at your house said it was so comfortable and they were so happy there. And of course, one of the big appeals of being in the countryside is so quiet. And you
Yes.
said the oji-chan said there's nothing here, but that's the appeal, right?
Mm,
You want
yes.
to go somewhere and relax and just look at the view and be with nature. And then, like you said, do farming as well, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Before moving here, I visited many like this kind of rural houses who the younger people are managing. Like I wanted to learn how to remodel the house. I wanted to learn how to manage their life after moving to the rural area, and that was very like warm experience for me to be welcomed with by the people, local people, and talking with local people and knowing the local histories was very wonderful experience. So I this time I want to be the host. I was the guest, but I want to be the host.
Yeah. Well, since you've had international travel experiences, I
Mm-hmm.
think you can apply how you wanted to feel as a guest.
Mm-hmm.
Now you are catering and welcoming guests. I think that makes you a better host or better at hospitality because you've traveled, right?
Yeah, I hope so. And yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I can't wait to stay at your place. So let's talk a little bit about your farm.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the name of your farm is Iniabi.
Yes,
Why
Iniabi.
why is it Iniabi? Can you tell us
Yeah,
about the name?
good question. Thank you. I got married with this man, Yoka. The Yoka's name in Chinese character is Yo is the sun, 太陽の Yo, and Ka is the possibility, Yoka. And he studied in the university in the United States, and at that time he visited the uh how the Native Americans place and met some people, and he experienced he explained about his name, Yoka. Yoka means the sun, and the sun with the possibility. So the Iniabi, they told him that the Iniabi is the name of the sun, and they have tons of vocabularies about mentioning sun. And Iniabi is the sun who gave. No, the sun who the sun which every lives depends on. So the Iniabi is like his name, and he made it his farm name Iniabi. That's why. So Iniabi Farm is like Taiyo Farm.
Yeah, I love it. So the utilizing the essence and the power of the sun for
Yes,
your farm is so important to have
yes,
good quality sun, right?
yes. And every beginning, every start point is sun from sun.
Yeah. So there's a picture of you, of course, you in your farming gear.
Mm-hmm.
What was the most difficult thing about learning how to grow your own food? Did you have
Uh,
any particular point that was difficult or something that was easier than you thought it would be?
Actually, it was very difficult for me and for him as well. He is from Tokyo. My husband is from Tokyo and moved to United States and then back to Japan and he moved to Gunma Prefecture and then started farming. And his farm continued for 6 years at Gunma, and then he moved to Hiroshima 2 years ago. And the problem is the temperature is very different. Temperature, humidity different, and also the weather is very different from Gunma. And the most difficult is the soil is different from Gunma. So he cannot continue the way he did in Gunma. He have to change all the ways to grow vegetables in here. So for this 2 years, that was the like trial term for us to understand what this soil is, what to understand what happened in this weather.
Yeah. Can I just say that I love your toe boots? I love your Japanese style boots with the toe, like a tabi boot. How
Yes,
cool
tabi
is
boots.
that? You're really farming in Japan, right?
Yeah, the tabi boots is comfortable anyway.
That's great.
Yeah,
And
like
then
to
this,
touching the soil directly,
yeah,
just the one sole.
yeah, it's great for that. A lot of construction workers in Japan also wear the tabi boots. I know it's a different style for farming, but this is also a picture of it now in in the snow. It's so beautiful.
Yes, it's too very cold, but I like in the snow on the snowy day. I wake up very early and open the door and what happened in front of our house to seeing this beautiful scenery is one of my favorite time here.
That's great. How a lot of the organic farmers that I talk to in the series, if they take over an area which hasn't been farmed for a while, the local people have been so supportive of them to start farming. How about in your area? Have you had a lot of support from the local farmers and local people?
Yes, yes, yes. Very supportive. They are very supportive, and they like they share information about which land is like uh, is
Good.
okay, the good,
Uh-huh.
or that tambo is now nobody is making something, so you can lend it or you can buy it, or they share information and they share how to do that, how to grow food. Very supportive, and I'm very thankful for them.
That's great. And I notice in your Instagram, like here, it looks like you do a lot of seminars.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a workshop with local people? I know you do seminars on SDGs as well.
Yeah.
Is this about farming or SDGs with local people?
This is for natural farming, and this event is held in Higashiku in Hiroshima City, the guest house Hachi House in Hiroshima. And there were some rice fields, so we decided to have event to promote the natural farming. And this is the one of the uh, event of the in Hachi House. The our farm style is natural farming, using no pesticides, even using no fertilizers, just having growing food in the field. So we don't use any chemical stuff. We don't any like animal uh, like K-fun or like Q-fun. No, we don't use that. So and that's why my husband was studying about the sustainability in the United States. So he decided to do natural farming in Japan. The in the world, the very famous person who promoted natural farming is Fukuoka Masanobu. He's Japanese, and he was inspired from him. And so our goal is to spread information about natural farming. We can grow food without any fertilizers, so we don't have to cost much. We don't have to cost many times or many monies. But just having land, just having soil, and just having the energy inside of us, we can grow food and we can get it. So we can share our how to grow food without any chemicals or additionals.
Yeah, Fukuoka Sensei is someone that many farmers in Japan and around the world always talk about. And I'm not a farmer. I'm interested in growing my own food, but I'm not good at it. But I loved his book, One Straw Revolution. What
Yeah.
an amazing book, and so inspiring to read about someone who is so passionate about sharing his love of growing food naturally, right?
Mm.
And he inspired so many people around the world. I was reading his book, One Straw Revolution, when I was in California.
Mm-hmm.
And I had so many Americans say, I love that book. I read that
Oh.
book. Yeah, it was amazing. So I think he has had such a wide reaching effect around the
Mm-hmm.
world,
Mm-hmm.
not just in Japan, but yeah, what an inspiration, huh? And you share his name.
Yes. Yeah, I love that book, and my husband was very inspired from him, and I started to learn about his way. Oh, that's beautiful! And many years ago, he told us that the very sustainable way, and yeah, like you know.
But isn't that true for many things about sustainability? Quite often, if we look back to the older way
Mm-hmm.
and bring back the older way to what we need now, it works really well. Like,
Yes.
right? Like organic farming, that was what they used to do. That was what indigenous people do, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about some of the foods you're growing. I see this picture. This is from your website. Um,
Yes.
so tell us about the kinds of foods you're growing. It looks great.
Thank you. The center is satoimo and hot chili peppers, kiwis, daikons, radishes, sweet potatoes, and ginger, garlic, turmeric. Yes. We love curry, so we wanted to make curry from spices, so we go with turmeric. And
Yeah.
yeah, we grow many kinds of vegetables, like 60 or 70, I think. And we also grow komugiko flowers, like wheat and two flowers,
Oh, wow.
and daizu soybeans. This soybean will be the vegan pate, vegan burgers, like some I cannot
The
explain in
base,
English.
yeah.
Yes,
That's
yes, yes.
wonderful.
One of my colleague in Aki-Takata city is trying to make the vegan hamburger, and he said that he want to get natural formed soybeans. So this soybean will gonna be the hamburger.
That's so exciting
Yes,
because that is one of, I mean, Japan is very reliant on imports of all foods,
yes,
but soybeans are used in everything in Japan. So
yeah.
to hear that people are growing soybeans here always makes me so happy. And then to hear that you're going to make a vegan soybean burger, I love that. I can't wait to try it.
Yeah, he's getting ready. Yeah. Yeah, soybean is
Fantastic.
very interesting. We are growing uh, three kinds of soybeans: red bean, yellow bean, and black bean. And we mix it, and like they look beautiful and they are very good to eat. Yeah, and I hope to have workshop to make miso and shoyu with our soybean.
That sounds great.
Mm.
Now, another picture from your website where
Mm-hmm.
you sell some of your vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
This is the satoimo, is it?
Yes, this is satoimo.
And on the website, I see that you recommend eating the whole thing,
Ah,
eating the
yes.
peel, eating the, because it's organic, no problem to eat the whole thing.
Yeah.
And you recommend koroke. It's nice for the koroke, right?
Yes. We
And
don't
clam chowder.
peel. Mm.
Is it you that loves clam chowder? You
Yes.
said also clam chowder, right?
Yes. Yes.
Now, another thing I heard recently is using shiitake
Mm-hmm.
instead of clams and soy milk instead of milk to make
Ah,
vegan clam chowder. So that's
wow.
something I'm it's on my radar. I want to try. So now I want to try your satoimo in the vegan clam chowder with shiitake. So wish me luck. I'm gonna try it.
Okay, I
Sounds
will send
good.
you.
Yeah, yeah, great. I wanna order it. So on
Yeah.
your website, looked like you had like a selection box for 2,000 yen. Not maybe
Yes.
not now, but when you have the season. Did you
Mm.
have many people ordering?
Yeah, and then we had many people who repeat it. Mm. We like it's our trial term, so it's the like, capacity is not so big, so we just sell it online. But everyone like I heard everyone loves that, and the most important is this food is all natural, so they're like anshin, they feel safe. Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that such a nice point? Like you feel good about the people who are growing it. They
Mm.
don't have to be around the chemicals. But
Mm.
also when you eat it, you don't have any of the chemicals. So it's good for the producer, but it's also good for the consumer, right?
Yes, yes, and good for the soil as well.
Yes. Yeah. Very important. I love the pictures. Have you learned how to drive a tractor?
A little bit, but I'm very like I'm not good at it. Like, I have to practice it.
Yeah. When I talked to a female farmer in Nagano, Heather
Mm-hmm.
Fukase, she was learning how to drive the tractor as well. And she said it's looks like it'd be easy, but it's a little tricky. But once you get used to it, it's very useful, right?
Yeah. The like handle is very big for my hand, so that was a problem. Yeah, but I got to. Yeah, I'm gonna used to it.
And it looks like on the farm you also had some kind of workshop with kids.
Yes, we are welcoming kids to visit our farm, and the Yoka, my husband, in experience, explaining that this plant is soybeans, and we talked about what kind of food is made by soybeans. So the children says, or like oshoyu or miso or something like that. So we want to make opportunity to learn the beginning of the food and the and not like the from the table, farm to table. So there was very good time for us. They like children was like very enjoying and like uh, the faces are very different from walking in the road or the playing in the field. To touching the natural stuff is very could be the healing.
Yeah, it's magic, isn't it? The one of the recommendations to parents of kids who are fussy eaters,
Mm,
who ski kirai is a lot, right? The fussy
mm,
eater. They always say try to grow some of your own food together with
mm,
your children. And
mm.
once they see the plant growing and they can eat the plant they grew, they are so much more interested in eating healthy food. So
Yes,
I think having kids come out to the farm and learn how is the food grown, what does it look like? It's great. It's so important to have that part of
yes.
education, right?
Mm. And we are also welcoming high school student and university student to learn on the international food system or international issues, like the um, like bananas. We eat bananas, but the producer of the bananas, farmer of the bananas, are not suffering from the uh, like chemicals or suffering from the bad environment or something. So we want to give the opportunity to learn uh, what kind of food we are eating, what kind of food we are getting, and how can we change our lifestyle to a sustainable way, or how can we change to the way that won't uh, hurt somebody or something like that. So they educate like we are having such educational program in our firm, and the first part is lecture, and the last part is the experience farming in the field. And yeah,
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 that's so
that's where it's
important,
going.
right? The whole idea of sustainability being an improvement of life of people and planet to make profit in balance with people
Mm,
and planet, right? And that doesn't only mean us people, that means where does the banana come from? Those people too. Where does the coffee come from? Those people too, right?
mm,
So including the idea of fair trade and direct trade and having a better honest connection with
mm,
the grower is really important part of
mm,
sustainability for sure. We live
yes.
in such a global world. We are
Mm,
so dependent on each other, right?
mm, yes, yes.
So this was maybe one of the seminars that you did, and so part is in the field and part is in your house.
Yes, this is the lecture about natural farming, how to grow food without any chemicals. And they are learning about uh, like uh, plants need like chisolin, sankari, three main AO, and how to get them from the natural way.
Yeah, that's it's so important. But I think modern farming, we're dependent so much on chemical fertilizers or using
Mm,
animal byproducts. So going back to natural ways, we just need to remember and find good methods, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's wonderful to see you're doing the workshops. Have people appreciated it? And then anybody going on to start their own organic farm after doing your workshop?
I not starting farm, but the some of them revisited our house after the workshop, and they said that they got to be interested in farming before coming to my house. The farming or fishing is like very different from our life, but they got to know the life and the natural stuff is very connecting, and spending time in the soil is very relaxing. So they repeat it again and again, and they got to they bought our stuffs, products, the vegetables or sweet potatoes, and also it was very glad that I was very glad to hear that one of the participants was grew up in the farm. Their parents are a farmer, and they are growing hodensous. And there was a very typical way they use chemicals. They use fertilizers, and he said, "I didn't know that we can make food without any fertilizers. I didn't know that can be the natural way." So he also repeated to come here and learn how to do that naturally. So like it was very small, but something big in their mind is happening
Yeah.
through the experience. Yeah.
In English, we say you planted a seed. So I think you
Ah.
have planted a seed, but you had also planted many seeds as well.
Mm.
So both sides. Really, you have planted seeds, but mentally, philosophically, also
Wow.
planted seeds. Yeah,
Oh, what a
cool.
beautiful phrase you have. Thank you.
Double. So that seed of an idea will grow, right, over
Mm.
time. But you are absolutely right now that people need time to take in these new ideas. And
Mm.
then once you tell them, it starts to grow and they start to think about it. And then they start to notice it here and
Mm.
there, right?
Mm.
And then they come back to your place and experience again, but
Mm.
they have grown, they have changed because of that first experience. That's so beautiful.
Thank you. And I want to continue and make it more big, more. I want to have more classes, more student.
Yeah, wonderful. So it looks like you do this kind of event maybe once a month. Is that right?
Yes, once a month at the Higashiku 88 House Hiroshima is the very beautiful guest house.
Nice. That looks like a great collaboration. And
Yes, that
there's a few organic farmers around Hiroshima, so it's great if you can all support each other.
yes. That event is very unique. I think it's unique that the owner of the 88 house, Momota-san, said like he wants to be the like intersection of rural area and city area. The to be the intersection at the point people communicate and people are making a community in the field in the farm, and in the rural area people has very nice information, nice knowledges, nice stories, and in city areas people wants to know get to know this and shift life to more like more comfortable way. And the we call it the 自然栽培教室 like class of natural farming, but we want to be the like intersection of cultural intersection, people intersection, and the value intersection of the value. Yeah.
I love that idea
Mm.
of intersection of needs, right?
Mm.
The needs of people and community, and the needs of our body, and getting healthy foods, and the needs of knowledge. There's so many great intersections there. Wonderful.
Yeah, and spending time in the farm, in the field, is very good time to communicate with people, like doing same thing, doing supporting each other, and making the same farm is like very good time, and conversation will be very nice and happy, and everyone becomes like friends. Yeah, just having time, just spending time.
Ah, nice. Now, one of the other things that you've been doing in this rural area is trying to improve the appeal to the visitor. Now, we talked before about making your guest room in your house, but you are also helping to promote the local entertainment, which is Kagura, right?
Yes.
Should we see if Tanaka-san is here? Tanaka-san, are you
Oh,
here?
finally.
こんばんは。
Ah,
見えますか？
konbanwa. So Tanaka-san is going to speak in Japanese, and then we have Keiko-san. Keiko-san's joining us. You're gonna help with translation, right?
Okay.
Tanaka-san, can you tell us a little bit about Kagura in the area? Keiko, do you want to translate?
神楽について、何かちょっと、なんていうんですか、説明されたいことありますか？
あ、まず自己紹介をしたいと思うんですけど、私がですね、この秋高田市の神楽が、大好きすぎて、この秋高市に、とうとう移住を決めてしまったというエピソードがあるんですけど、で、そもそもこの秋高田市の神楽の魅力、僕が一番惹かれたのは、やっぱりその、古い時代からの、伝わってきたものをですね、今にも伝えているところがすごい惹かれた要素かなというふうに思ってます。
はい。So he said at the beginning he wants to introduce himself, and he used to live in outside of Aki-Takata city, but he loves Kagura so much, so he decided to move to Aki-Takata city. And Aki-Takata city's Kagura is so special because it has been passed down since long ago, for long ages, and then since ancient times, so he wants to keep this going.
I'm just showing a video so people can have an idea what Kagura is before he talks a little bit more. This is in your town right now?
だからこれが、神楽ドームがですね、北高田市にありますので、これはそこである、まず高校生の神楽公演と、これ全く全部高校生です。
For all the dancers are high school kids?
Wow.
いいです。やっぱり
Isn't
ちょ
that
っと
great?
音を聞くだけでも、
So exciting. Tanaka-san, I'm so sorry we can't see you, but now everybody watching can have an idea how amazing Kagura is. So thank you so much for joining.
田中さん、ちょっとお顔が見えないようなんですけど、みんな、神楽を、どんなものかっていうのをちょっとビデオで見させてもらうことはできましたので、田中さんはお顔は出そうにないです。
さっきからですね、ちょっとですね、カメラを、してはいるんですが、
He is trying to figure out turn on the camera, but
It's okay. So does he?
申し訳ありません。
No, it's okay. Does he want to tell us anything about how the area's Kagura is special?
その秋田方市の神楽が、どういう点でスペシャルなのかっていうのをちょっと説明してもらってもいいですか？
どういう点でスペシャルか。
はい。
そうですね、やっぱり、 この地域の特徴として、やっぱり小さな子から、おじいちゃん、おばあちゃん、お年寄りの方まですごい好きでして、特に、お宮とか神社で、やるからについては、本当、大人の方は飲みながら、どんちゃん騒ぎしながら見るようなもので、本当にそれも、スペシャルな魅力の一つなのかなというふうに思います。
はい。AkiTakata city's Kagura is very special because like many people from all the age groups, like kids to the elderly people, they participate in this Kagura play. And also, usually, this Kagura is held at shrines, and viewers are just enjoying their performance, drinking sake and alcohol, and it's like a party. And yeah, he says like it's really fun to watch and also play and
That was my experience. Every time I watch Kagura, it's always so exciting and so fun. Such a wonderful part of Hiroshima culture that I think a lot of people don't know about. And visiting Aki-Takata and the Kagura village and going through the museum, there's a hot spring onsen there. And then where I showed the video, this is the high school kind of performance or competition in the big Kagura arena. So that was so fun to see, and there was such a great atmosphere there. So did they cancel that this year because of COVID, or did it go ahead?
今年は神楽のこの甲子園はキャンセルされたんですか？今年ってか去年かな？
去年はですね、ありました。はい、ありまして。
They did. They held this competition.
Yeah, they had it. Wow.
Yes.
It's a nice open arena, so maybe it's one of the safer places. But you see, all this spinning is so amazing. What can you ask Tanaka-san? What is the most difficult part of learning how to perform Kagura?
どういうところが、この神楽を舞う上で一番こう難しい点でしょうかね。
舞う上で難しいところですか？
はい。
ですね、さっきも、ありましたけど、やっぱり衣装っていうのはですね、かなり重さがあって、重たいもので、10キロ、15キロ近くにもなるので、それを着て、あんなに激しく舞うんですね。なので、もう本当にこれ、甲子園っていうのは夏にやるんだけど、本当に、幕の裏が倒れる高校生が続出しているというエピソードがあります。それでみんな、一生懸命やってます。
So the most difficult part is, as you see, they wear very heavy costumes. Like sometimes it weighs like 10 to 15 kilogram. And they need to wear those very heavy costumes and while dancing and then running. And it was especially this competition, high school kids Kagura competition is held in summertime. So it's really hot. So the backstage, at the backstage, some high school kids just faint because it's too hot.
Yeah, thank you so much for telling us a little bit about Kagura. Like I told Nao-san before we started, I would love to have one whole talk show just about Kagura.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll figure out the camera thing, and maybe Tanaka-san and Nao, you can join us again. And of course, Keiko as well, and help us talk more about Kagura. Of course, this is not Hiroshima, but you had a visitor performance from Shikoku, right? This is Awa, is it? Awa Densu?
From Tokushima Prefecture.
I love that. It's so fun. It's so nice to see collaborative entertainers come over to Hiroshima or go somewhere else and perform, right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Tanaka-san. Thank you so much, Keiko, for helping.
ちょびっとだけです。
ありがとうございます。
じゃあまたね。
バイバイ。
Bye bye. So Nao-san, of course, having Kagura there in the village where you're trying to promote tourism, that helps a lot, right?
Maybe I hope so. We are creating the tour to visit the Kagura team. From my opinion, from my viewpoint, the most special thing about AkiTakata Kagura is performers are really local, just ordinary people. They are working in the city, or they are working in the supermarket, they are working in the police or something, and they have the job in daytime, and at night they gather to the jinja or the rehearsal house, rehearsal room, and they practice Kagura 3 times or 4 times in a week. And I just inspired that I thought that the performers are professional something, but the Kagura, AkiTakata Kagura is performed by the very ordinary people. Yeah. And so we created a tour to meet the Kagura team. It means to meet local people in AkiTakata and having conversation and learning how to dance or how to wear costume from the local people.
I love that. And I love going on your tour and having the behind the scenes view of Kagura, right?
Yeah.
Like we visited a group, I think high school group maybe with your tour, and they were practicing and showing us, and then because we were there, they decided to get the costumes on and give us a little bit more professional show. But I was so blown away by how professional, how good they were, and
Yes.
everybody just came from school or just came from work, but the singing, the music, even for practice, all of the music is live, right? So the performers have to practice with the musicians every time. I love that.
Yeah, many young people participate to the Kagura team, and I heard that one of the team member decided to stay live in Aki-Takata city after he graduated from the high school, graduated from the university, because he wanted to continue to be the member of the Kagura team. And he said that I want to success the culture of Aki-Takata to next generation. I heard, and wow, wonderful. Amazing.
That's great. We've had a few comments. Paul says satoimo are amazing grilled. Oh, that's a good tip.
Yes.
Wendy says, what a beautiful house. I'm curious about what farming activities guests can do. That's a great question.
Depends on the time. Depends on what kind of plants are on farm. So, for example, picking up some tomatoes, cucumbers, or pumpkins, or like that, or to picking up the grasses, to managing the land, or to get ready for the seeding. Like before seeding satoimo, we have to get ready for the une to make a little bit higher point of the farm. So like that. Depend on the time. Depend on my husband, what he want to do on the day.
Yeah, it depends on what you need to do and the season, probably, right?
Yes.
But probably on a farm, there's always something you can do, right?
Yes, every time.
Yeah.
We have something to do.
Nice. And Annalise said, Nao-san is always an inspiration.
Thank
So
you.
nice.
Very big word for me.
That's so wonderful. So thank you guys for your comments. That's great. And we have about 5 minutes left. Is there anything we haven't talked about? that you would like to talk about?
Ah.
We talked about your peace activities,
Mhm.
which started with Peace Boat and your research in Tahiti.
Mhm.
I found that really interesting, your thesis on the relationship between the French nuclear testing and the indigenous people of Tahiti.
Yes, yes. Did a research about. I did an interview to the former test site workers in Tahiti, and why. I wanted to know why they decided to work on nuclear test site, because I know it's dangerous and I know it's very risky, but like they wanted money, or there were many reasons why they get up get to get there. And that was very similar to like what happened in Fukushima, what happened in Okinawa, what happened in the other nuclear test site, or what happened in other army area or navy area or something. So that was very interesting. I got to learn like world system, or the very big system,
Wow.
and there
And
are
then
always
yeah,
people who are
and
suffering from that system.
you were connecting it to how you want to introduce the idea of what happened in Hiroshima and what happens in other countries to young people. But instead of talking about war with Hibakusha, you
Mm.
wanted to call it "Let's talk to grandma" or "Let's talk to grandpa," just getting together and talking.
Mm.
And then maybe that's a better way forward to talk about peace.
Mm.
I love that idea of yours. Are you still active with your peace activities?
Um, I want to say yes, and I like after Tahiti, I visited Hawaii. I did South Korea to meet some people who who experienced a war, who experienced a nuclear test, and I want to continue that kind of activity to visit there and do interviews, write something, and spread uh, their story in like some ways. And also, I'm like I think it's important to uh, making an educational program in Hiroshima City. Like I'm now getting ready for the program to walk around the Hiroshima City, like following the route that the one of the Hibakusha worked on, that the August 6th in 1945, to re-experience what they experienced on that day, and what they feel, and what kind of what how was the city. And I wanted to like make it more active, more interactive, just not just hearing from the older people, but uh, we act to get information, to feel what happened, or to feel it's more internationally global. Not only Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the nuclear program is happening in all over the world, and we are having many connecting points to learn the system of the war, or just the system of the nuclear industry.
Yeah. That kind of education, you are doing something you are also doing when you're talking about farming.
Mm.
You're connecting people to stories and to parts of Hiroshima that have connections to the past that they wouldn't experience otherwise. And
Mm.
once again now, you are planting the seed, the idea, and then the more they think about it, the more the idea grows. You're doing so much great work in Hiroshima on peace, as well as with farming, organic farming, building community, inviting visitors to come and enjoy this beautiful natural area and Kagura. Thank you for everything you're doing.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. But everything is connected to me. Everything is connected. Like, how do we live? How do we select the way to live? And to get to know what happened behind the curtain or behind the scene, we can't. We have invisible people, invisible happening behind everything. So we have to get to know what happened behind this tomato, behind this banana, behind this clothing, and we can choose what to buy, what to get, what to use, and how to live. Yeah, this gonna be my message through all the activities, I think.
That's a wonderful message. One new question I'm asking at the end of each interview this year. You mentioned Fukuoka sensei as someone who has inspired you about farming. Is there another book or another person that inspires you in your life?
Uh, yes, I want to say the Gabi, barefoot Gabi in Tahiti. He welcomed me during my research time in Tahiti, and he had me in his house for a month, and he gave me food, and all he always taught me the quality of life and what the Tahiti people lost from the having the nuclear test site in Tahiti was not the healthy problem, not health problem, not the money problem, but the quality of life, connecting with the ocean, connecting to the with the forest, connecting with nature. The lifestyle was really changed, and the value was gone. The classical value was gone, and he said the most important is uh, to connect, to grateful for the nature. And his last message for me was like his grandmother's message, and there was one of the culture in Tahiti, one of the traditional way of thinking in Tahiti, that was that if you take from the land, you have to give back to the land. If you don't give back to the land, you shouldn't take from the land. If you just take from the land, you should be the colonizer, because the Tahiti was colonized by the French, and they lost many things. So that was a very big message for me, and I want to be the not the taker side, but the giver side. Yeah.
That's a beautiful message. What a wonderful experience you had, which is so formative to what you're trying to do with your life and teaching others. How valuable. So, what a great connection with Peace Boat as well. Like Peace Boat really helped make that connection with you, right?
Yes, I'm really appreciate for Peace Boat.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you so much. Now that's the end of our time. Thank you so much, Keiko, as well, for translating. And thank you so much, Tanaka-san. I'm so sorry we couldn't see you this time. We'll have to do it again and talk about Kagura again. Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful night and a great weekend. See you next time.
See you. Thank you. Thank you. That was very wonderful time. Thank you.
Thank you so
Good
much.
night.
Bye.